Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, we will be doing a set on my practice hand here. So I do want to show you our new tips that we recently launched on KAIROSE Nail Supply. These are the 2XL No Secret Coffin Nail Tips. They do come in this box, and they do have 500 pieces, and I believe it's 10 different sizes. So here I'm just showing you our smallest size, which is the size 9, and here you can see they're nicely straight, no C curve or anything like that. And then here's the biggest size, which is size 0. Again, they're nicely straight, no C curve or anything like that, so they're perfect for like your coffin client lovers, or if you cut them down, which I do in today's video, they do make a nice tapered square. So getting into the tutorial, I am just quickly measuring out the nail tips to make sure they fit nicely sidewall to sidewall on this practice hand, and then later on I will be going ahead and gluing them down. So for the nail glue, I will be using the 𝐶𝐬𝐴𝐿�𝐵𝐿𝑖𝑛GS brush-on nail glue, and I highly recommend this one. This one is a pretty nice one as well, compared to like the Rich Off Nails one I have, the MEKK nail glue. If you like brush-on nail glues, I highly recommend this one, but my all-time favorite will still always be the MEKK nail glue. I feel like I don't show it as often anymore just because I don't do sets on the practice hand as often. I mainly do press-on sets now, but I will be trying to incorporate more more practice hand sets as well. So for today's length, I will be taking 5 magnets and putting them on my nail tip cutters and my nail tip cutter, and trimming down all the nails to this long length. And like I said, it does make a nice tapered square when you are cutting down those coffin nail tips. So before we get into the application or anything like that, I am just going to take my 100 grit hand file and shape up the sidewalls just to make sure everything is nicely crisp. And then I do like to take the hand file and blend in the nail tip with a natural nail just so it has a nice seamless blend when I go in with that acrylic application. So for today's acrylic, I will be using Black Magic. This is from our Haunting Hour collection on KAIROSE Nail Supply. We are recently sold out of the full collection, but you can still buy them individually. And then here I am using Precious Peony. This is from our Shimmer Blossom collection, and it's a very nice, beautiful nude. And then I will also be using our clear acrylic just to encapsulate that glitter. So I am starting off with Precious Peony, and I am applying that to the middle nail and the ring nail. So I do start off with a medium-sized bead of acrylic and apply it right where the nail tip and the natural nail meet. And I'm just gently patting it down towards the free edge just to make sure the structure is nice there. And then I will go ahead and work on adding more beads where they need to be added. Again, I am taking another medium-sized bead of acrylic and I'm placing it right below that first bead, and this is going to help thicken up the free edge area just so that way it has a nice thickness and it doesn't break if you were to do this on an actual client. And then I am taking another medium-sized bead of acrylic and placing it right below the cuticle area, and this will mark our cuticle bead here. And I am just using the tip of my brush to gently push it up in the cuticle area so that way it doesn't overflow in that area. And then again, I am just blending that bead with the previous ones. But since I am doing a set on the practice hand, I am not building up the actual structure that your nails do need. I just don't feel like doing that on a practice hand, but if it was a real client I was working on, I would definitely be building up the apex and the structure that the nail definitely needs. So I will go ahead and just let you watch the rest of the application play out for the nude part, because again, I am applying it on the ring nail and I will be doing the same exact process. So go ahead and watch that, and I'll come back in once it's time to do the application on the other two nails. So for the pinky nail and the index nail, I will be using the Black Magic Glitter Acrylic from our Haunting Hour collection. It's a very stunning, like black, chunky, fine glitter acrylic mix. And the colors do kind of shift to like a deep bluish purple type of color. Again, I highly recommend checking out our new products because they are going pretty fast. And they are perfect for like your spooky season, like nail sets and everything like that. And our Girly Ghouls collection, the pink collection that we released for our Halloween collection, well, one of the Halloween collections, it will also be perfect for Valentine's Day nail sets in the future. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and purchase it now. We obviously will be releasing new type of collections for the Valentine's season when that time does come. But I've gotten so many comments about how perfect this collection will be just for that as well. So again, I will be taking that Black Magic acrylic powder and applying it to the index nail, and then later on I will go ahead and start encapsulating just those two nails. The new nails don't really need to be encapsulated just because it's just one plain color and it doesn't have any type of glitter in it. But if you want to encapsulate them as well, just so that way it's like an even thickness throughout the nails, go ahead and do that. But like I said, it's a practice set and I don't feel like that is necessary. So getting into the filing portion, I will just be taking this fine 5-in-1 drill bit and I will be going around the cuticle area just to make sure everything is nicely sealed. And then later on I will be going in with my hand file to shape up even further. And also for reference, I do have my drill at the speed of 9,000 RPMs when doing any type of finish filing using my e-file. Now to finish the filing, I am just taking my hand file and shaping up the sidewalls just to make sure everything is nicely straight and just in place. And then I am filing over the entire surface using that hand file. I honestly wish I would have just used my e-file for this because the process just took a bit longer using my hand file. But I just wanted to make sure everything was nicely smooth, and I feel like you can get a nice smoothness with your hand file just because you have more control over using a hand file rather than your e-file. But that's just my personal preference. I do kind of go back and forth between either the hand file or the e-file to file over the entire surface, but it's totally up to you what you prefer to do. But for today's video, I did use the hand file to file over the entire surface, and then later on you will be seeing me flip the hand over to file the free edge just to make sure that is nicely straight as well. And then here quickly, I'm just taking that same fine 5-in-1 drill bit and kind of thinning out the free edge area, because when I filed the free edge to make it nicely straight, it kind of thickened it up a bit, and I do want that area to be nicely thin before we do any of the rest of the process for today's video. And then here I'm just taking my buffer to buff over the entire surface of the nail because we will be doing some nail art. And then very quickly I'm just taking this cute spray bottle from Nails and Blinks and spraying over the entire hand just to make it easier to wipe away all that nail dust before we get into the nail art process. So now this is what the nails are looking like after they've been shaped and filed. So let's get into everything we need for today's nail art. We will just be mainly using classic white and classic black from KAIROSE Nail Supply, along with our 18mm liner brush for the nail art. I will also be using a dotting tool. If you've seen by the thumbnail, you will know that we are doing some scream nails, so the dotting tool will just kind of help with everything. So as you can see here, I did go ahead and get my classic white gel polish, and I am kind of creating some dots to kind of form a cross, I guess you'd say. And then I am connecting those dots using my 18mm liner brush, and this will just make it easier to kind of create the ghost face like face. I did watch someone on on Instagram do this specific method on how to do the ghost face, but I also did watch a video here on YouTube as well of another nail content creator doing this exact method for the ghost face, so I will remember to credit them in the description box if you're interested in watching their video as well. So after I've connected the lines creating a cross, I am just kind of connecting the dots now, kind of trying my best to curve the lines a bit to kind of get that structure of the ghost face's face. And then after that, I will go ahead and start infilling the rest of that area with that white gel polish. And then I do go ahead and cure for 30 seconds. Now to get his facial features, I am just using a dotting tool, and I'm taking that classic black and the smaller portion of that dotting tool to kind of create bean-like shapes for his eyes. And then I will go ahead and use my liner brush, which I believe is the 12mm here, and I am creating a small little area for his nose, which is to me is like an upside down heart. And then for his mouth, I will be going back to the dotting tool and just using that same, the bigger size of the dotting tool to kind of create an oval, like an elongated oval to create his mouth. And then after that, I will just be taking my 12mm liner brush and creating some of the details for his face. So where the cheekbones would be, I am kind of creating the little lines there to kind of just provide more detail, I guess you would say. I don't really know. And then after that, I do go ahead and start creating the hood part, I guess it would be called. And for this part, I am just taking my 12mm liner brush as well and just kind of outlining where I want the hood to be. So I'm just placing it a little bit above where his mask is, and then here I am creating the bottom part where it'd be on his chest or something like that. I'm not really good at explaining things, but I really do hope by you watching the tutorial it does help out a lot. But after I am done outlining where I want everything to be, I will go ahead and start infilling everything. And again, I am just using the classic black gel polish and my 12mm liner brush for this process. Once I am done infilling this though, I will cure for 2 rounds of 60 seconds just because it's so pigmented. You want to make sure it's fully cured and not wrinkled in the end. Off camera, I did go ahead and add a bit more lines to his face to kind of create more depth and detail. And then here I'm just taking my 18mm liner brush and a little bit of white gel polish and kind of creating creases on his hood to make it give it that nice creased type of effect. I don't know if that makes sense or anything like that, but I hope it does. And then I will go ahead and cure for a full 30 seconds again. And then after curing that will pretty much be the end of that nail. And now working on this nail, I am going to be creating like, I guess it would be like a knife with the Ghostface's face in the center of where the blade would be. So here I am just taking my classic black gel polish and my 12mm liner brush and kind of outlining everything where I want it to be. This isn't the perfect like sketch, I guess it would be called, for this design, but I did my best, and this is actually technically my like third try of this. I just did the other two off camera. But yeah, this is just my third try here, and I just went with it, and it turned out pretty good though at the end. So after I have everything outlined, again, I am just infilling that with the classic black gel polish and then curing again for 2 rounds of 60 seconds to make sure it's nice and fully cured and not wrinkling. So using the 12mm liner brush, I am just going back in with the classic white and kind of outlining his mask in the blade of the knife, just kind of creating pretty much like squiggle lines almost, if that makes sense. This will kind of help with his mask, and I am pretty much just doing like mainly half of it. I'm not doing an entire face of his mask or anything like that. So after I outlined the mask, I am going ahead and infilling that, and then here I'm just adding more details to the like handle part of the knife and then curing that for 30 seconds. And then I am going back in with the black gel polish using my 12mm liner brush and creating his eyes and the nose and the mouth and some little details on the mask as well. And then after this, again, I do cure for 60 seconds in the nail lamp. So to add a bit more detail, I am just taking this color Hollywood red carpet from Blue Sky. It's a very nice, beautiful red, and I am adding some more detail, which is like some blood dripping off of the blade. And then later on, you will see how I add some more detail using this gel polish. So how I'm kind of doing like the blood dripping effect, I am just kind of going along the bottom part of the blade and just adding some little droplets or driplets, or I don't know the word for it, going down and then curing that for 30 seconds. And then here I'm just taking this brush, kind of like a cleanup brush, and I am just stippling it into the red gel polish, and now I'm just placing it over the nail like this in this type of motion, and it's going to create some blood splatter on top of the nail just to give it more design. And then I will also be doing that to the pinky nail and the index nail, even though it will be kind of hard to see on those nails just because the base of the color is black. I did want to just give it a bit more detail and didn't want to leave them plain. But after this, I do go ahead and cure for a full 30 seconds in the nail lamp. So this is what the entire set is looking like after everything is completely done. So to top coat, I am just taking our classic diamond gel top coat and applying that over the entire nail, well, over the entire set. And then after that, I do make sure to wipe down the sidewalls to keep the nice square shape we do have, or the nice like tapered square, I guess you would call it. And then again, cure for a full 60 seconds in the nail lamp. But that is pretty much the end of the video. Let me know down below if you liked the tutorial. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!